Ciao Juventini, and welcome to episode 2 of What's Up With You. We have a lot to recap for this past week in news and rumors surrounding Juve, and we're going to get right to it. And I look forward to all the comments and discussions that come forward after this episode. And to everybody who took part in the first episode as far as sending comments in on YouTube or DMing me on Twitter or reaching out, thank you. That's what this is all about, whether you disagree or agree with me. I love hearing about all your point of views and what you guys are feeling towards these subjects. So let's get right into it. We're going to get the transfer stuff out of the way first. No surprise here. Pjanic still heavily linked with Barcelona, and Arthur being the link coming back for Juve, and the one that they seem to be pressing for. Now, with Arthur, the only thing that kind of bothers me or gives me some bad vibes about it is the fact of how outspoken he is in regards to not wanting to move and wanting to stay at Barca. This raises a couple little flags. Number one, why is he so happy there? Why does he want to stay there if he's not getting the time and not getting treated as he should based on how highly touted he is? Maybe he does just want to prove himself, but I don't know. I kind of would hope that he'd want to stick it to them and make a switch and really prove his worth. But, I don't know. Now some of the rumors that are coming out about him possibly being swayed because of the tax benefits and or the finances from playing with Juve, that kind of bothers me too and rubs me the wrong way. I mean, is it a lot to ask for him just to acknowledge Juve's existence? Because he hasn't even said a thing about Juve. So, yeah, bit of a strange one. But is Juve possibly making a mistake by going after him this hard if he continues to be so heavily outspoken about staying at Barca? What do you think? Adrian Rabiot. So, what an absolute shit show. Adrian Rabiot, obviously, there was reports that had come out saying that he did not want to return to Turin because he was unhappy about having to sacrifice some of his salary. He then put a post on social media, laughing it off, making a joke about it. No big deal. He does, obviously, he did return to Turin. However, his name is still heavily linked with a move out, and apparently he wants to join some of the Premier League teams, and that's what's been reported out here. You know what? At the end of the day, we've had some warning signs with him, okay? He played great in the preseason. Come regular season when Serie A started, he wasn't on the starting roster. And then there was rumblings about him being unhappy with playing time. And then when he did get his minutes, he looked woeful. And then all of a sudden, the rumblings continue about not happy with his playing time and whatnot. And then he gets on the pitch. He's got a lot of invisible performances. And then all of a sudden, the sulking that happening on the pitch. Bottom line, got a guy that came in on a free transfer. He's got a high wage, and he's contributed 0 goals and 0 assists. I've literally contributed just as much sitting right over there on the couch. If Juve makes a move and he's a part of it to bring in somebody else, I'm fine with it. Next, Aleksandra. It's said that Aleksandra is most likely staying unless there's an offer. And it's stated that Luca Pellegrini, his future lies in Juve's hands. This is a bit of a funny one because we have links with other left backs around. So you kind of do start to wonder, is Juve going to make a move and move Luca Pellegrini out, bring another left back in to support Sandro, or is Sandro going to be moved? For me, I'm actually okay. And I know I'm in the minority, but I'm okay with seeing Aleksandro move away for a couple of reasons. I'm going to hit you with them right now, but then I want to get your thoughts. Aleksandra, I'm okay with him leaving. Why? Number one, I can't help but see a guy who was outplayed by Spinazzola. Okay. 2, he still holds good value. We've got multiple positions to boost. Midfield, right back, and we need a forward striker. Okay. So he still holds good value. There are good options for less money. So we could possibly make a move for him, get a little bit of a financial gain, bring in a left back, recall Luca Pellegrini, be set there and take that financial gain, place it elsewhere that we need. Okay, so these are kind of the couple things I'm okay with. Sandro, are you guys okay with moving him out? Oh, and another reason, I gotta share this one. I can't help but see it every single time we play. It doesn't matter who we put in the left midfield position, they fail and they suffer. And the common denominator the whole time has been Aleksandra, because he does not do the fundamentals offensively anymore, and he's far too narrow, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. Someone brought something to my attention earlier this week when we were discussing Aleksandra, and it was, did he start to fail and drop off when we switched from 3-5-2 to a 4-3-3? I have to look back on some matches and try and sort that one out. But if you can pinpoint that time, reach out to me, because I'd love to have a discussion about it, because it was brought up and I thought, interesting, maybe that is when the offense started to drop off, and it would make sense that he has more freedom when we're playing a 3-5-2. So, yeah. But Pellegrini, I think Pellegrini, we have to recall him if you're Juve, and you got to give the kid a shot. He's been impressive this year. I want to see him in our colors. Danilo expected to stay with Juve, and the interest from Barcelona for De Chilio is real. With these two guys, I mean, take your pick. You can flip those names around. You can say Danilo's got to go, De Chilio's got to stay, De Chilio's got to leave, Danilo's going to stay. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you got two guys that lost their position to a right winger. You got two right backs that lost their spot to a right winger, okay? Take your pick. Move one of them. We need to boost that position. Next, Jorginho, obviously a favorite of Sarri, okay? It's interesting enough when I put the post out on Miralem Pjanic, who we should use to bring him in, out of a couple of the names that were linked, which was Paredes, Jorginho, and Arthur. Jorginho won the vote, and there was a lot of comments against this move. And I find it a little bit surprising, because I've never shied away from my criticisms of Sarri throughout the season so far. And I was always being argued against with the fact that let's not criticize him until we get him his guys. Here's one of his guys that will work in that system. He's proven that. That's his guy. But now all of a sudden, a lot of you in team don't want him. It's kind of bizarre. I think Jorginho's a great midfielder. I think it's fantastic. Whether we bring Tonali in or not, I think Jorginho would be a great addition. Not saying that Arthur isn't, but definitely Paredes is not in that mix when you're talking Arthur or Jorginho. But I would be just as happy with Jorginho, if not more, to be honest. But again, see what you guys think. Tonali, getting into him now. It looks like it's going to come down to the wire between us and Merda. Dollar values being spoken of around 30 million with €5 million bonus, or 35 with a €5 million bonus. And Brescia apparently wants a little bit more. No surprise when you got two of the big dogs kind of battling out. Well, I mean, we shouldn't really call Merda a big dog, but whatever. I think it's ultimately going to come down on the player's decision. Where does he want to go? Okay. But it looks like Juve's not giving up, despite some rumors that Tonali had made up his mind. So let's see what happens. One name that's not being talked about enough, I feel, that I've seen a few little links there with, is Jimenez from the Wolves. Now, this guy would be a great addition if the deal is right. 29 matches played. He's in on 19 or 20 goals, between goals and assists, 13 goals, 6 or 7 assists. Really, really like this player. My only knock on him, and that's why I say the deal's got to be right, is that he's already 29 years old. But great, great player. I think he could help us out big time, and could be a lot easier to afford to make that deal than some of the other options. So keep an eye out for Jimenez from the Wolves. I kind of really like the couple links that I've heard with Juve battling in there with a few other clubs, and Man U being one of them. Interesting to see what happens there. Now, let's get to the season. June 13th has been stated to be the day that Serie A will resume. Then today, apparently it's going to be delayed a day, June 14th or June 15th. The FIGC came out and said they won't play. That's fine. No big deal. What I don't really understand is that I read reports earlier in the week saying that one case of COVID-19 throughout will end up shutting this all down. Now, there's already been some positive cases as players have come back into the training facilities and whatnot, which makes sense because everyone's been isolated, so they haven't been getting tested. No surprise. But again, if they're going to be so strict on this rule that when the matches resume and one case is going to shut it all down, why put the players through all this? Why put the staff through all this? Like, why do it? It's the whole thing is really, really strange. So again, let's just wait. We're getting more and more excited. I know Bundesliga kicked off this weekend, but let's just wait and see because there's still a big, big question mark. So let's see what ends up happening. Salary cap. Rumors that a salary cap is going to be imposed by Juve, and roughly their ballpark figure of max is going to be around 9 million. Sure. I mean, you got to take it with a grain of salt. What's this mean for a guy like Dybala? You know, we already know he's battling for more money than that. This is just going to be a guideline, okay? They cannot be strict with this unless it's administered by all the other giants that Juve wants to be amongst. If they don't administer it and Juve does this and self-impose it, they're just going to be shooting themselves in the foot. So it makes zero sense. It's going to be a guideline. And to be honest, Juve needs it. When we look at some of the guys, the salaries that we're dishing out, they need some guidelines and some better structure, especially when we look at contract extensions and just some of the dead weight and some of the money that we have going around there that just shouldn't be. So, yeah, they need the guidelines. But again, I don't think it's going to be as strict as everybody's taking the salary cap. Andrea Barzagli has left the coaching staff. The way the headlines wrote it out made it seem to be more of an issue than what it actually was, and he just wants to spend time with his family. Barzagli owes Juve nothing. He was the steal of the century. Incredible bargain that we got him for. Turned into an absolute legend for us. I'm sure that the decision was incredibly tough to make. He's dedicated his life to the game and a huge chunk of his football life to Juve. He owes us nothing. I thank him for everything. And if we look back, we made an incredible switch when we were leaky at the back this season. And there was a hell of a transition made once he joined the staff and started to help out. So thank you, Andrea, and obviously enjoy the retirement and the time with your family. Next, we hit the anniversary of Alegri's departure, okay? A year ago, leaving the club. Mutual parting of ways between Juve and Allegri. Their fans, obviously celebrating the victories and whatnot, but still in praising him, they bring up the critics of Allegri and whatnot. Look, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Allegri did a fantastic job. However, I think he left just in time before becoming an actual villain. It was stale, it was stagnant, it was time for a change. You could argue he should have left after Cardiff. Whatever the case may be, we can't take away the victories and all the trophies he's given. For that, I thank you. But it was time to go. Let's carry on. We do not need to praise the man and still speak of the criticisms, okay? Let's enjoy the trophies he gave us and celebrate him for that. Thank you. Juve dropping the name from the kits and fans getting in an uproar. It's just a change. Everyone reacts to change differently. I mean, we could see this coming. On the Palace kit, there is no Juventus there. You could see they were gradually going to move this way. If you look at it from a marketing, branding standpoint, it makes sense. Think about some of the key brands globally that are iconic that don't have any names. It just makes sense that that's what they're going for. No big deal. Mino Raiola today speaking about Erling Haaland and obviously the young man scoring again on the weekend. He's a scoring machine. Raiola speaking about Juve, saying he would be with the U23 squad of Juve or playing second fiddle essentially to Higuain. And some fans call him Mino Raiola a dick. Yeah, he's a dick. Of course he's a dick. Is he wrong though? You know, It's no secret how I feel about Holland, and that I feel we dropped the ball on that one big time. But to go at Raiola for these comments and say that he isn't right, I mean, look at what I was faced with when I said we dropped the ball on getting Holland. I was fought back with he wouldn't get time. Why on earth would he not get time at Juve? That is exactly what Raiola is saying here, is because they would play Higuain above him. Why on earth would we not take the opportunity to snatch up a young, incredible talent, fast as hell, can bang the goals in, physical, tall, like just, he's got it all really. Why would we not snatch him up for a guy that we've tried to move for 2 seasons now and is going to move at the end of this season, and we couldn't give him, we can just promise him a good amount of playing time for half a season before ultimately giving it to him the next season? Come on. You got to be kidding me on this one. No. What Raiola is saying is exactly what I've been combated with when I said Juve has missed the boat on Holland, and we dropped the ball now, and we should have picked this kid up on the cheap. And I get it. You want to talk about the bonuses to the agent, to his father. It still would have proven to be just fine when you look at how we got to make these other moves. It still would have been fine financially. It's just, again, he's not saying anything that isn't true here. Okay. Juve historically sometimes takes too long to integrate the youth. They do pay a little bit more homage to the experience than they just do the class and quality on the pitch. Like, they just don't have that faith in the young guys. These young guys need to do so much to get that. Okay. You want to talk about De Ligt, you want to talk about Demirel, they have to do so much. It's almost like we make it even harder for these young guys because we make it such a beast by not showing this faith in them. It's already going to have pressure playing for Juve at a young age. Now, let alone they know that they don't have that faith and they're going to be under this microscope, and it's just, they're making it out to be so much. Look at Demirel's first appearance for Juve. He tried to do so much, and it was a bit rocky. After that, he simplified things. He talked about it, talking to the key guys, and he simplified things. He was a beast. He was incredible. You know, De Ligt was coming back from that injury, but I mean, he could have played some games, but they still stuck with Demirel. You have to have faith in these guys. You have to stop creating this big beast and making this huge mountain for them to climb. Have faith in the young guys. Okay, let's start to shift. You need a good balance. There is room on the club for experience. You have to have that experience, but you got to balance it out. You need some legs, and we need some juice up front there, you know, because there's times throughout this season it just looked like some dead legs up there. So let's see. Gonna finish off with May 13th. Okay, I've got these two, my favorite Del Piero kits behind me. May 13th, we celebrated the final match that Alessandro Del Piero played for Juventus versus Atalanta in Syria. Now, you see the fans with all their messages, you see all the posts, the wonderful clips and everything like that. And every time this day comes around, since I just can't help but feel that farewell, was it enough? You know, Alessandro Del Piero is, there's no secret, is my favorite footballer ever. You know, there are not enough words to describe what he means to myself and so many other Juventini. Now, that farewell, was it enough? This is the question I leave you all with. Was that farewell for Alessandro Del Piero enough? If you don't believe it was enough, I want to hear what you do think would have been enough for il fenomeno vero, Pintoricchio, il capitano, Alessandro Del Piero. What would you like to see Juventus do for a tribute when a legend like that leaves the squad? comment on this video at the bottom, or DM me on Twitter, or simply put a post up on Twitter at AllUVcast. You get me there. Look forward to hearing what you guys have for comments on the farewell for Del Piero, as well as any other topics that we covered on this one. Real quick before I go, I want to say thank you for all the support to all the Juventini who have been part of the first drop for Striped Hearts apparel. We know that everyone that has made a purchase, I made a deadline of this coming Friday, and this Palace kit with Dybala 10 on the back is going to be given away to a lucky Juventino or Juventina. Okay. Not only that, but still, if you purchase during this week, you will still get your entry in. We've seen all the wonderful posts and all the pictures of all these Juventini getting their Striped Hearts gear, and I couldn't be happier. Everyone loves the merchandise, the very, very soft, nice premium fit tees with the cool designs. It brings a smile to my face with every picture, every post, every comment that you guys love it. It's for you guys. So I'm glad that you're all embracing it, and just stay tuned for the next drop, because again, the designs will be voted on by all of you. So stay tuned. Thanks again. We'll catch you at the end of the week for episode 3 of What's Up With You. And until then, as always, Forza Juve, fino alla fine. Ciao.